you choose to marry is the biggest decision of your life outside of choosing your faith in the Lord. What they are now is what they're gonna be in marriage times 10. Like, I don't care what people say, like they might try to impress you now, but hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cindy Sember. I am your bestie who talks about track and field. I talk about faith, I talk about my marriage, and share different behind the scenes with my husband and I. In this video, I'm gonna share with you guys 7 reasons I knew my husband was gonna be the one for me. I have been married for 3 years now, and to get to this point, I had to do a lot of reflecting and thinking about what I wanted in a spouse before I even got a spouse. I spent a season of praying and asking the Lord to reveal to me to desire the right things for a person, because honestly, who you choose to marry is the biggest decision of your life outside of choosing your faith in the Lord. It is really a big decision. And so I wanted to make this video because I know that there's a lot of people out there looking for spouses. And I know when I was looking for a spouse, I wanted to make sure I was choosing the right things that didn't seem like just superficial or just like the things that wouldn't really last in a spouse. And I found myself actually desiring the things I think the Lord wanted me to have as well. And I want to share with you guys what those were. So I actually made a TikTok on this and I shared some of these points on there. And if you guys aren't yet, follow me on TikTok and Instagram, but I'm gonna go more in depth in this video about those points. So the first thing that I truly desired in a spouse was I wanted a man who could lead not only me, but a family spiritually. So I wanted someone who had a strong faith in God. And faith is such a big part, and John and I speak about this in our marriage lessons video. I'll attach it up here that you guys can go watch afterwards. John is my husband, by the way, for those of you who don't know. In the Bible, it says a man is the head of the household and is leading the family spiritually. And I knew I wanted my spouse to do this because it was really important to me. My faith is super important to me, and I wanted somebody who was on the same page with me and who would be a leader in that way. I'm more of a traditional person, and it was something that I wanted personally, and honestly love that I prayed for this. He's always willing to learn more. He's always praying for the truth and searching for more things that helps us grow, both of us grow deeper in our faith. And hopefully when we have kids one day, he can help lead them as well. Obviously you don't know all these things when you're just dating, but you can see characters in somebody that shows you that this is something they'll be good at. Like, how is their faith life separately outside of you? How do they speak about their faith? Are their actions relating to their faith very similar? Like, are they actually living out their faith? And so these are just some things that I think you should consider when you're choosing a spouse is where is their faith life at? Is it on the same page as yours? Because the Bible talks about being equally yoked, and you want to make sure you guys are at least on the same level when it comes to your faith. So I saw that he would be really good with this. That was one reason I could see him as my potential spouse. The next thing that I really saw in my husband while we were dating that I loved was his ability to protect and just make me feel safe. So it was really important for me to have a spouse who wanted to make sure I was okay as a female and just wanted to make sure I was safe and didn't want me to feel uncared for in a sense. So he definitely did a really good job with showing me these things early on. I really observed to see how this would be, but I really liked that about him because we discussed these things beforehand and we discussed what that would look like in a marriage, and that really made me feel comfortable. And that's not necessarily like to say like I can't take care of myself, but I prayed for somebody who wanted to do that for me because I would want to do that for them. Like, I would want to take care of them as well. Like, it has to be a mutual thing. But I do think there is a level of men doing that differently than women. I'm always going back to what the Bible says about marriage and how we can do this as a Christian couple. So that was really important to me, and I think he definitely made me feel very, very safe and very comfortable. Another thing that I knew for me personally that I really wanted in a spouse was his humor. So I really like funny people. I like somebody who can make me laugh and that can lighten up a mood. Like, I'm a very naturally tense person. I think my job as an athlete has made me this way. And so sometimes I'm like kind of serious and I'm like, I can be silly, don't get me wrong. I'm a jokester and all that stuff, but sometimes I can just like, okay, let's go search the point, let's do this, let's do that. And that's how I approach life and how I approach my conversation with people. And my husband is like very much different than me in that regard, where he will make a situation that's kind of serious, a little silly, and it honestly lightens up the mood. A lot of our friends would always laugh every time he was in a room because he just naturally knows how to make a joke in like whatever circumstance he's in. I mean, like, he's literally a comedian. That was something that really made me feel drawn to him, because I feel like people say that opposites attract, but I could kind of sense that being true in a sense, because I'm funny, not always intentionally, but like, he was genuinely a funny person. Just something to think about. Like, if you like to laugh, then it's okay to want somebody who's humorous. Like, part of joy is laughter and, you know, being able to just take a load off when it comes to jokes. So another thing that I wanted in a spouse was somebody who treated people well. So I observed how he treated other people, because chances are he was gonna treat me the same way he treated those around me. So something my husband and I talk about is like, we always like to see how people treat the waiters or waitresses. And so I actually did observe that when I was dating him. I just wanted to see like, how is he gonna talk to them? Or how is he gonna talk to my friends? Or even just random people, like people he's not even trying to like impress me with, in a sense. Is he gonna be nice to them? Like, what's he gonna do? And I mean, like, this man is so kind. He has such a genuine soul and heart, and I really love that about him. He treated everybody around him so well. If you want somebody who's genuinely a nice person and a good person, then watch how they are treating those around you. And even give it a few months too, because, and I mean, everybody's timelines about when they want to get proposed to and engaged are different. We got engaged 11 months after meeting, so we had some time to kind of see these different things. But watch how they treat others. Watch when they get in bad moods, how they react to things, because that's also something to take into a point too. Like, one thing I loved about, or I still love about John, is like when he gets mad, he knows how to control it. Like, it's not like, yes, we can have arguments, but he's not gonna be screaming at me. He's not gonna call me out of my name. He's not going to do anything that's gonna make him regret it. And he's also not going to make me feel so bad that like, I'm like, I don't know if I can come back from that, because that's how he was in dating. And so a lot of these things are things you want to look at before you get into the engagement phase or the married phase, because what they are now is what they're gonna be in marriage times 10. Like, I don't care what people say, like they might try to impress you now, but their true colors will come out. So you have to make sure you really observe these things and understand it. Another thing that was extremely important to me in a spouse was loyalty. It was super important for me to have a spouse that only had eyes for me. He didn't look at other people. He wasn't dreaming about dating other women. He wasn't making me feel like, well, is he actually interested in me, or does he want to be with me? Like, no. He made me, and still to this day makes me feel like one of the most special people in the world. He makes me know that he loves me. And so like when we travel and we're not together, because there's times that I'm at track meets or he's on a work trip, I can trust that he's only gonna have eyes for me. I can trust him. I don't have to be asking him like, what you doing and what's going on in your life? Like, I know, because I trust him, and I knew that like dating made me feel very confident in that about him. So observe their loyalty with friends, not even just like you, but what their loyalty look like to their job, to their friends, to the things they commit to. Do they just say, I'm gonna do something, and then they just like blow it off the next day? Because like I said earlier, like a lot of the things that they're showing in their life are gonna come to fruition in the relationship with you if you're not careful. So he was loyal in everything he did. I mean, like when he had a project, John is not going to sleep until he gets certain things done, and I have to even tell him like, it's okay, you're good, you can stop now. He is loyal. That's also something I really loved. Another thing that was really important for me was his work ethic. Is he, you know, motivated? Is he encouraged? Is he inspired? Does he have goals? You know, that was important to me. It was so attractive to see how hard he worked daily and how much he worked towards something he set his mind out to. And that made a huge difference to me, because I knew that he's always going to try to do what he needs to do to accomplish something. Looking at the person's work ethic is really important. Something to consider if you are looking for a spouse as well. The last thing that was really important to me personally was our compatibility in so many different ways, like the foods that we both like to eat, or just the things we relate on, or the things we talk about. Like, those little things make a difference. I'm not saying we have to be the same person, because clearly we're not. We look kind of different if you've watched any of our videos. We have so much in common. I mean, like, even though we're two different races, we have so much in common. And I think that really made me believe, like, not only do we share the same faith, but we share similar interests. We can do hobbies together, and there's hobbies that he likes to do and that I like to do that might not like be the same. We both have a compatibility mindset in the sense that we want to learn about the other person's interests because we love that person. And so just compatible in our mindsets, compatible in how we look at life. Talking about that in dating and engagement is really important, because compatibility can make a difference. Like, if you didn't realize you were that compatible and just like you guys got married in like 2 months because you're like, I'm just so excited to be married, but sometimes people don't actually like see if they're compatible. I mean, it's important to be compatible with your spouse. And so make sure like that's something you talk about and you just like observe and see, because it does make a difference. It definitely like down the road makes you feel like, oh, I really love hanging out with this person. Like, we're actually friends. We can talk about this. We can have conversations. We literally can be on the phone for 2 hours sometimes on like one topic, because we are so both passionate about that topic. Or even if it's a few different topics, we just can keep talking about different things because we just love to talk to each other. So it's not like oh, I don't want to be around this person because I don't know what to talk about with them or what to do with them. Make sure that's something that you talk about or you see before beforehand, because that's gonna make a really big difference in how you live your day-to-day lives if you do get married to them. Those are just a few things that made me know he was the one before we got married. I hope these kind of instilled some points in your head if you're looking for a spouse right now, or you just wanted to know what I liked. If you guys like John and Cindy content, I'll have a whole playlist attached that you guys can watch over here, and you can go see some of our other videos together. Don't forget to subscribe for more content in the future. I have been producing weekly content recently and I'm on a roll, so definitely go subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.